The Istanbul Cipher, Chapter 2, Subpart A. The street narrowed with every step, like it didn't want us there. Balat was different at dusk, less touristy, more secretive. The stray cats had taken over the sidewalks. Wires sagged like jungle vines between crumbling apartments. I kept my head down and my pace slow as the adhan echoed through the alleys. Soft, mournful, dissonant in the best way. Layla Aden waited by a wrought iron gate, arms folded, hoodie zipped to her chin. She didn't look back when I joined her, just pointed with her chin toward a graffiti-covered wall across the alley. "We're in the right place," she muttered. "How can you tell?" She nodded toward a red stencil near the drain pipe, a crooked dove with a broken wing. That was the old neighborhood resistance symbol from the 1950s. My grandmother drew it once in the margin of her prayer book. The others arrived in twos. Ayla Demir with a compact toolkit slung over one shoulder like it was combat gear. Emre Topaloglu dragging a case on wheels, already muttering to himself about battery levels. Sibel Güngör last, quiet, wearing a dark scarf over her hair and a look that said she'd been here before. No one spoke much. We didn't need to. Sibel knelt beside the rusted gate and brushed away a film of dirt. Beneath it, a faded plaque, half covered in spray paint. "Hamami Cheshme, closed for public entry." She glanced at me. "The bathhouse is behind this lot. Courtyard's overgrown. The window's in the back wall." Emre groaned. "We're breaking into a historical structure with priceless artifacts, and our access plan is climbed through a hole?" "I thought you liked challenges," Ayla said. "I like code, not tetanus." "Good. Then stay on the laptop and let someone else do the crawling." I stepped between them, not to stop the sniping, just to move us forward. "Let's walk the perimeter first, quietly. We can't draw attention." The path narrowed even more behind the lot. Shrubs had overtaken half the flagstones, and a collapsed fence leaned into the overgrowth like it had given up trying to stand. Then Sybil stopped. "There." A section of wall at the rear had partially collapsed, exposing a stone ledge about chest height. Above it, an arched window frame half filled with soot-stained bricks. Layla pulled a flashlight from her pack and lit the surface. The bricks weren't mortared, just wedged in. "Looks like someone wanted to keep people out," Emre said. "No," Siebel whispered. "They wanted to keep something in." She looked at me then, eyes full of something ancient, something personal. I nodded. "Let's see what's inside." The Istanbul Cipher, Chapter 2, Subpart B. The bricks came loose with a sound like old bones cracking. Layla Aden slipped off her backpack and wedged her fingers into the seams Siebel had pointed out. Dust burst out in a cloud as she rocked the top brick free, then the next. Emre Topaloglu hovered behind her, not offering help, just calculating risk with his arms crossed and his mouth pressed into a tight line. I knelt beside her, wedged a multi-tool into the gap, and gently worked another loose. The third one crumbled in my hand. Behind it, dark, humid air, a hint of mold, faint ash, maybe old soapstone. Layla clicked on her headlamp and exhaled slowly. "Here we go." She swung one leg up and through the arched opening, then her shoulder. Her sneaker scraped against worn stone, and then she disappeared into the dark. "Layla?" Ayla Demir called. A beat of silence, then, "Still alive. Smells like a dead fountain and wet history." "Perfect," Ayla muttered. One by one, the students followed. Siebel was quiet and smooth, almost like she'd done this before. Ayla grumbled about angles and ruined clothes, but moved quickly. Emre handed me the scanning gear, then ducked through without a word. I paused before following, just long enough to scan the alley behind us. Empty. The dusk light had turned bruised purple. Then I climbed in. The inside hit me like stepping into a shipwreck. Cold, damp stone walls hugged the perimeter. The air was thick, still, but not silent. It hummed with something low and mechanical. Maybe just my pulse. We were standing in what used to be the Soyan Malak, the changing room. Octagonal, vaulted ceiling above, cracked like an eggshell. Broken tiles scattered underfoot. Layla turned slowly with her light. "This is insane," Siebel whispered. "This was built before Ataturk's alphabet reforms. maybe even before the fire of 1890. The flashlight beam hit a marble arch. Carved patterns lined the stone, some geometric, some floral. But above the arch was something different, hand-drawn markings, carved in haste. Letters? Emre pulled out the scanning tripod and started setting it up, his lips moving silently as he calibrated. Ayla snapped chalk marks near the entrance. I'm timing everything. We stay under 60 minutes. After that, our noise risk doubles. She tapped her watch. Clock starts now. They were already professionals. I wasn't leading this. I was witnessing it. And something told me this site wasn't just forgotten. It had been hidden. The Istanbul Cipher, Chapter 2, Subpart C. The deeper we went, the warmer the air got. Not cozy warm, claustrophobic warm. A kind of heat that had nowhere to go. We moved as one now, our flashlights overlapping in wide cones. Ayla Demir logged corridor names and time-stamped her notes with obsessive precision. Emre Topaloglu walked a few meters ahead, scanning the walls with a thermal lens and muttering about spatial anomalies. Sibel Gunger paused at every doorway, like she was asking permission before entering. Layla Aden and I brought up the rear. I noticed she was quieter now, her usual fire dampened into something watchful. Not fear exactly, more like reverence. We passed a collapsed wooden bench and an overturned water basin. Bits of old porcelain glinted in the grime. The dome above was fractured but still holding. Through one of the broken oculi, a single shaft of light pierced the dust. Siebel stopped cold. This should be the mosaic chamber, she said. See that curved alcove? That's the same as the one in my photo. She unzipped her bag and pulled out the album, flipping carefully to a worn black and white photo. It showed a chamber just like this. Same shape, same arch. But in the photo, the wall was covered in a circular mosaic, olive branches surrounding a geometric pattern. There was nothing on the wall now, just rough plaster, flat, beige, dead. It's gone, Layla said. No, Siebel whispered, stepping closer. It's buried. Emre approached and swept the surface with his phone's LiDAR scanner. A green web of digital lines traced the curves of the alcove. Hang on, he muttered. There's a density discrepancy here. Ayla raised an eyebrow. In English, please. This wall's thicker than it should be, and the surface isn't consistent. Someone patched it. Layla moved beside him and knocked lightly. The sound changed halfway across the surface, from dull to hollow. They covered the mosaic, she said. Someone tried to erase it. I didn't say anything. I'd seen it before, in places where history was inconvenient. Sometimes you burn the books, sometimes you just layer over them. Emre's scanner pinged. Got a partial impression beneath the plaster. There's curvature, like tile work, but I'd need a full render to reconstruct it digitally. Layla turned to me. Can we uncover it? Slowly, carefully, maybe just one section. Ayla glanced toward the corridor behind us. We've got 43 minutes left. Then let's get started, I said. And with that, we peeled back the silence. The Istanbul Cipher, Chapter 2, Subpart D. Layla tapped lightly along the plaster with a chisel, while Emre held the light steady. Siebel and I stood back, giving them space, while Ayla recorded timestamps and whispered reminders like a mission control operator on a fraying timeline. The first piece came loose like a scab off old skin. Beneath it, color. Muted, yes, but unmistakable. A curve of deep blue tesserae set in olive green, faded by time but still exact. Emre leaned in with his phone and snapped a scan. Siebel's breath caught in her throat. That's it, she said. That's the pattern. She opened the photo album again, laid the old image next to the wall. Perfect match. I knelt beside Layla. Let's take another row. Nothing major, just enough for context. Then I saw it. In the center, a glyph. Faint, almost eroded, but still visible. 4 lines intersecting like a compass, with an encircled dot at the center. I've seen that before, I murmured. Siebel looked at me. Where? Old resistance materials, underground networks. It's a kind of unmarked signature, a way of saying, we were here, we knew. Before anyone could respond, the silence snapped. Footsteps, not ours. A soft tread above us. Deliberate, measured. Everyone froze. Emre killed the light. Layla dropped to a crouch. Ayla pulled Siebel behind one of the marble columns. I stood alone in the dim light filtering through the cracked oculus. No time to hide. The footsteps came closer, then stopped. A shadow crossed the far doorway. Then a figure stepped in. Elderly, dressed in dark robes. He didn't seem startled to see me. "You are not the first," he said in Turkish. "To search, to dig." "Who are you?" I asked. He didn't answer. He reached into his coat and pulled out a sealed envelope, held it out. I didn't move. "This is not the first time they've tried to erase," he said. "It won't be the last." I took the envelope. He turned and left as silently as he came. When I turned around, everyone was staring at me. Emre broke the silence. "Zack, what was that?" I looked down at the envelope. Thick, handwritten. Siebel whispered, "That was Imam Farouk, the mosque caretaker. He used to be a history teacher, before the foundation started gutting the curriculum." I opened the envelope. Inside, a single page. 4 languages, Greek, Armenian, Ottoman Turkish, Hebrew, all circling the same symbol we just uncovered. Layla whispered, "This is bigger than a mosaic." And she was right. The Istanbul Cipher, Chapter 2, Subpart E. We spread out in the central chamber, mosaic dust still clinging to our sleeves. Emre Topaloglu sat cross-legged with the scanner in his lap, eyes flicking between data lines. Ayla Demir stood near the entrance, watching the corridor Imam Farouk had vanished into, just in case he came back with someone less peaceful. Siebel Gungur sat on the ground beside me, running her fingers over the corner of the envelope. Layla Aden paced. "That was definitely a warning," Layla said. "But it wasn't a threat. Not yet." "He handed you a clue, not a complaint," Emre added, which is weird considering we just peeled a hole in a wall under his nose. Siebel opened the envelope and carefully unfolded the single page. The parchment was aged, but the ink was crisp, probably a reproduction. 4 translations, 4 scripts, all encircling the same emblem from the hidden mosaic. Layla read aloud, "What was joined beneath these walls will rise again in those who remember." Ayla crossed her arms. "Cryptic much." "It's symbolic," Siebel said. "That's how they passed messages in eras of censorship. Double meanings, layered references. It's a code." "And this symbol," I added, "I've seen it used before. It predates the foundation. This was used by underground networks, activists, educators, translators, people who smuggled truth under regimes that outlawed it." Layla's eyes lit up. "That explains the 4 languages. This isn't just a bathhouse. It was a bridge." Siebel nodded slowly. "The mosaic was a warning and a record. They built the art to hide the truth in plain sight." I glanced at Emre. "Can you finish the digital render?" "Already running. Should have a layered reconstruction in 20 minutes. If I can match the carvings to their original inscriptions, we might find hidden markers in the scan." Ayla checked her phone. "We have 19 minutes before the street patrols rotate. Then we risk being seen leaving." "We'll be gone by then," I said. But Sybil didn't move. She stared down at the mosaic again, brushing away a final curl of plaster dust, revealing the tiniest tile, blue with a silver crescent etched into its face. "My grandfather knew," she whispered. "That's why he brought me here as a child. He couldn't say it out loud, but he showed me." Her voice cracked, but just for a second. "We have to finish this," Layla said. "Not just this site," Siebel added. "All of them." And in that moment, I could feel it settle into all of us. Not just urgency, purpose. The Istanbul Cipher, Chapter 2, Subpart F. We move fast now. Emre Topaloglu packed the LiDAR scanner into his case without speaking, his fingers moving faster than his face could catch up. Ayla Demir snapped final photos of the mosaic fragment, then knelt to erase the chalk markers she'd left on the stone. Layla Aden kept glancing over her shoulder toward the archway, where Imam Farouk had disappeared. Siebel Gungur lingered by the mosaic one last time, running her hand across a tile like it might vanish if she looked away too long. The digital render on Emre's screen flickered to life, transparent layers of green and blue dancing across a wireframe. The image pulsed with depth, revealing the full curve of the missing design. "It's clean," he said. "I can refine it later, but we got the core." I nodded. "Time to go." We reversed our route, through the crumbling chamber, past the overturned basin, up the incline toward the broken window where we'd entered. I gave each of them a boost. Emre nearly kicked me in the face. Layla whispered sorry as her boot scraped my shoulder. When I finally climbed through last, I paused. One last look back. The mosaic glowed faintly in my mind's eye. Not just a pattern, but a message carved into architecture. 4 cultures, 1 warning, 1 hope. And someone had tried to bury it. We dropped into the courtyard as a night breeze cut through the humidity. Across the alley, a shutter creaked closed. Movement above, just a curtain. Maybe. "Let's keep our heads down," I said. "Phones off." No post-game chat in the group text. Emre zipped his jacket. "I never use text. They scrape it." Layla smirked. "Paranoid." "Prepared," he muttered. Ayla led us out of the alley with the precision of a getaway driver. 2 turns, 3 alley crossings, and we were back on a busier street, traffic noise, neon restaurant signs, life returning like a mask. Then my phone buzzed. Blocked number, 1 message. "We see you." No signature, no timestamp, just those 3 words. I turned off the screen and slipped it back into my pocket before the students could see. I'd tell them later. Maybe.